From the Ministry of the Presidency in Georgetown, this is This Week with the President.
Welcome to another edition of This Week with the President, a weekly news magazine which provides you with an in-depth look at the policies, programs and work of the President of Guyana in his quest to realize the good life for all Guyanese. In the highlights this week, President reiterates importance of science and technology for development at Science Fair in London, strengthened international cooperation for regional security in focus with British naval vessels visit. President tells Bartica to use local government elections win as a catalyst for progress. Development is deeply linked to technology and innovation, and Guyana, as a developing country with no shortage of natural resources, the application of science and technology in all of the economic sectors is a must. This was underscored by President Granger at the recently concluded National Science, Mathematics and Technology Fair and Sagicor Visionaries Challenge 2016 held in Linden, Region 10. Guyana needs an education of innovation to meet its limitless needs, and as such, its youths must be provided with opportunities to develop practical solutions so as to ensure that those needs are adequately met, he said.
Guyana needs an education of innovation to satisfy these needs, these essentials. Guyana needs thousands of persons in manufacturing, fabricating machines to process foods and to make utensils. We need thousands of miners to produce bauxite, diamonds, gold, and manganese.
Science, technology, engineering and mathematics, or STEM education, teaches students how to apply science in everyday situations. The President said that mastering STEM at the primary, secondary and tertiary levels are critical to problem solving and to ensure that a country like Guyana thrives in a competitive world.
We need medical doctors and technologists to protect us from epidemic disease or to cure our everyday disorders. We need computer scientists to enhance our knowledge and expedite our transactions. Our needs as a nation are limitless. Guyana's young people, therefore, must be educated and encouraged to be inventive and innovative.
Students from secondary and primary schools from across the 10 administrative regions participated in both the Science Fair and the Sagicor Challenge, showcasing many innovative ideas. In the end, however, the Bijival Secondary School emerged this year's national winner of the Sagicor Visionaries Challenge for creating a natural alternative to the chemical mosquito repellents being sold on the market.
We use the Artocarpus camansi flower, which can be found on the breadnut tree, commonly known as the katahar tree. The flower contains a toxin called saponins, which kills flight insects. As we all know, mosquito has been a threat and we have been facing the cruelty of them. So in order to get rid of them, we come about to find a solution to get rid of them. We use the Artocarpus camansi flower in order to make this into a product whereby persons who want to buy it and consumer can use it. We decided to make it in the form of coil. Catering for persons who are suffering from asthma and cannot take the smoke, we also provide a spray. The coil was made from the use of Artocarpus camansi flower, the sawdust, and the coconut shell dust. Potato starch, on the other hand, was used as a binder to bind all the products together. The spray was used made in the Artocarpus camansi flower, in which the flower was soaked in rubbing alcohol for 3 days to extract the toxin, and then the virgin coconut dye was placed in it. Not only does it act as a mosquito repellent, but it also acts as a moisturizer for your skin in the end.
Guyana's security and that of the Caribbean region has always been high on the agenda of the David Granger administration. Given the ongoing threats to its territory, President Granger has consistently called for measures to be put in place for the protection of small states and reiterated the importance of regional security to their development. At the United Nations General Assembly in September 2015, the President used his presentation to call for the protection of small states and islands, since these are the territories which are considered most vulnerable to threats of disasters and use of force.
Small states risk being subjugated unless the international community can demonstrate the capability and commitment to provide an effective deterrent against domination by larger and stronger states. The United Nations General Assembly, on the 9th of May 1994, in its 49th session, approved the resolution which, inter alia, stated that it recognizes that small states may be particularly vulnerable to external threats and acts of interference in their internal affairs.
President Granger has consistently advocated for cooperation on regional security at regional and international forums. At the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting held in Malta in November 2015 and the 26th intersessional meeting of the CARICOM Heads of Government held in Belize in February 2016, the President reiterated Guyana's position. In the light of this, the President on Wednesday toured the British naval vessel, the HMS Mercy, with the aim, he said, of building stronger international cooperation so that this much sought-after regional security can be achieved. The HMS Mercy docked in Port Georgetown on March 29 and is the first such visit by a British naval vessel in 20 years. The President noted that this visit is significant for Guyana since it provides a platform for cooperation in the protection of the Caribbean region.
Well, the presence of the British Navy is very reassuring. As you know, we have a very large exclusive economic zone, and Guyana has been victim of intrusion into the zone, and we certainly do not have the maritime capability on our own to effectively patrol or police or EEZ. So the presence of the British Navy here is very reassuring, although we don't have an agreement for them to be involved in any enforcement activities. We hope that this is the start of a longer relationship in which the Coast Guard and the British Navy could conduct joint training and improve the level of security along Guyana's coastline.
The President noted that while the security of its territory is important, Guyana alone cannot protect its borders, and as such will seek to promote international cooperation in the thrust of ensuring that help is always available should the need arise.
My main concern is having a multilateral agreement with other CARICOM states, and on the basis of that agreement, we can then enter into negotiations with the United Kingdom. So it is simply a technical arrangement that can follow, because we don't want to enter into bilateral relationship, which might jeopardize our relationship with the CARICOM states.
On the same note of security, the head of state also added that since Guyana is a part of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, and is keen to interdict narcotics entering and leaving Guyana, the ship's arrival is welcomed by the administration. He did establish, however, that Guyana was not in a hurry to establish a formal arrangement, since he believes the matter should be properly discussed and supported by the CARICOM countries before any such action is taken, since security is a major issue for any region.
Guyana has not entered any formal defense or security agreement with the United Kingdom or with the British Navy, but we are committed as part of the Caribbean community to cooperating with the British or Americans as well as other Caribbean countries in the two main areas in which the Royal Navy has a particular interest in the Caribbean.
On Wednesday, prior to visiting the vessel, the President met with the HMS Mercy's commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Richard Hewitt, at the Ministry of the Presidency, who in a brief comment after that meeting expressed his gratitude to the country for the hospitality that he and his crew have received since their After an absence of over 2 decades, local government elections were held on March 18th in fulfillment of a coalition campaign promise. Following the elections and with the impending establishment of 3 new towns, President Granger charged the new town council of Bartica, Cuyuni, Mazaruni, Region 7, and those countrywide to see their victory at the polls as an opportunity to collaborate with residents to enhance livelihoods. The President, who was at the time addressing patrons at the Golden Beach Bartica at the opening ceremony of the 2016 Bartica Regatta, reiterated that the new town council should use this triumph as a catalyst to kickstart green initiatives.
There's no victory here, Kamal. There's no victory here, Gifford. There's an opportunity to combine with the other elements in Bartica, the business community, the social and religious community, the government community, to move Bartica forward. It's not a victory, it's an opportunity. And let us use this opportunity over the next few years to make Bartica strong. So what I want to see out of Bartica is clean environment, economic development, and also the empowerment of our citizens.
The head of state said he has always believed that given its history, Bartica should have been given township status a long time ago. Now that this vision has been realized, the town must aim to become a pioneer of green efforts, he said.
Bartica deserves to lead the other hinterland townships in making this a green community. And that is our next stage. This is the charge I've given to the Bartica Town Council, that we must abolish all this styrofoam, we must start planting Bartica, we must start ensuring that solid waste is disposed of, we must start ensuring that there is renewable energy, so Bartica continues to lead the way.
Meanwhile, with regard to the popular Bartica Regatta, the president said that the region must aim to expand the fete to include other communities and villages. He envisions the regatta becoming a national event and a major tourist attraction. Meanwhile, Director General of Tourism in the Ministry of Telecommunications, Mr. Donald Sinclair, remarked that Bartica must be commended for overcoming the challenges and hosting a successful regatta every year.
In a very real sense, the regatta and the pageant have branded Bartica. In fact, as we read in the pageant magazine, Bartica is referred to as the home of the regatta, which is a nomenclature that is justly deserved because of the hard work, the impressive work that the Bartica officials have done over the years in sustaining this pageant.
Bartica, which will officially be declared a town on April 23, 2016, has been projected to become the first green town in the country. This mandate, which was issued by President Granger, seeks not only to promote a clean environment, but to create green spaces and parks for the citizens, sustainable solid waste management, the complete eradication of the use of styrofoam products, and the use of renewable energy to meet everyday electricity needs. Presidential Advisor on the Environment, Rear Admiral retired Gary Best, has over the past months been collaborating with the residents and regional administration to ensure that a directive is not only understood, but that works can commence. Deputy Mayor of the town, Ms. Kamal Prasad, in an invited comment, said that residents have been very supportive of efforts to beautify the town and have been indicating a willingness to cooperate to realize the other aspects of the Green Master Plan.
The first thing that we intend to do with Bartica is to clean up the environment. We've already started to clean the drains and to beautify the parks and recreational areas. As we move forward, of course, we have more advanced plans, but the main focus is the drainage, the water situation, electricity, cleaning up and removing garbage from different areas, relocating the dump site. And as we move forward, there are more advanced plans. As for example, like we will remove from a septic system to sewerage system. We would also like to have the electric wires on the ground instead of on poles. So these are some of the things that we have planned, but moving forward, it will take some time for us to get there. But the most important thing for me is to making Bartica clean. So when you come to Bartica, the first impression you must have of Bartica is being the cleanest place in Guyana.
And now let's take a look inside the President's diary. On Tuesday, the President met with Mr. Hamley Case and Ms. Clarissa Reel, who have been appointed to head Guyana's diplomatic missions in the United Kingdom and Canada, respectively. Ms. Reel, who departs Guyana for Canada Friday, April 1, said that the head of state has given clear guidelines of what he expects from his new cadre of diplomats, which essentially is to advance the country's economic interests internationally.
I've never done this before. First time as a diplomat, but I plan to give it a good shot. And I'm believing. I'm anxiously waiting to get over there. And I hope I can give this position my best shot and help to move the country forward, which is what the President has asked us to do.
Meanwhile, Mr. Case, who is scheduled to arrive in the UK in 2 weeks, said that the concept of economic diplomacy lobbied by President Granger is not new to him, since as a member of the private sector, he has always worked to attract foreign direct investments to Guyana.
What I plan to do is to extend that in terms of contacting and befriending potential investors, trying to increase Guyana's potential as a good host for investment.
Later that day, the head of state joined government officials and representatives from the business and academia at Moray House for the Creating a Ghana Development State Lecture, which was hosted by Professor J. Mandel of Colgate University. Among the topics of discussion were the diversification of the economy, the ExxonMobil oil find and the benefits to the economy, and the role of technology in building a strong economy. And now let's take a look at the softer side of being president. On Easter Monday, March 27, President Granger embarked on his traditional walkabout in the national park to interact with families and kite flyers. This year, however, was different, as having assumed the highest office in the land in 2015, persons from all walks of life rushed to greet him. The president spent almost 3 hours meeting, greeting, and interacting with hundreds of Guyanese who had gone to the park to picnic, fly their kites, or just relax with their families in what has now become an Easter Monday tradition.
I come here every year because Guyanese of all ethnicities, of all religions, look forward to this ritual of flying kites on Easter Monday. Even though they may not be Christians, it's now become a national pastime. And we keep astonishing citizens in other countries in the Caribbean when they see Guyanese coming out to fly kites, and this is exactly what they enjoy doing. Children, old folk, it's a picnic day, it's a celebration day, and as I said, we're just having fun. So I feel good coming here among the people to celebrate Easter Monday.
The president was particularly delighted by the scores of children who rushed to hug him, take selfies and family pictures with him, and to give him a turn flying their kites. Persons who were too shy to approach him were not left out, as he walked to the various tents and picnic blankets to meet and share a warm exchange with them. That has brought us to the end of this week's edition of This Week with the President. Thank you for joining me. For regular updates on the Ministry of the Presidency, go to our website at www.motp.gov.gy. Like our Facebook page, Ministry of the Presidency, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MOTP Guyana. Do have a safe and productive rest of the week, Guyana. Goodbye.